Hello and welcome everybody to Somebody's Heroes. We are here today with Matt. I'm Eric, I'm the Dungeon Master.
Hi, I'm Matt, also known as War Torn Knight, out there on the interwebs. You can find me anywhere under that name. If you want to see most of my D&D shenanigans, you can find me on 2B Diced ADV, 2B Diced Adventures. That's where I run a campaign. I'm in several of them, but that's not where I do 90% of the stuff that I do.
And we'll go ahead and include links and all that jazz down below for you.
You're the man.
I try to make sure that the people who are here get the credit they deserve and get the attention that they need from the people watching this show, however big or small that might be. But tonight we are here to meet your character. This is going to be a wild ride. All right, so we're going to start with the camera up and behind you a good ways. It's coming down through the city of Taoliva. So Taoliva is the Arcano-Tech, the Magitech city in the sky. Some even go so far as to refer to it as the jewel of the continent. It's still a couple of years away, but there's a big giant Founders Day festival here, all that fun stuff. But it stands probably about 1,500 feet above a pair of lakes that are collectively known as Crater Lake. We're going to follow you in the camera as you're headed down through the docks. You and your bike hop on an elevator, and it slowly descends down into an area of the city known as the Brink. So, in the Brink, we are away from the glistening facade of that Arcano-Tech, high-tech, fancy mumbo jumbo of up top, and you're brought down the underbelly. Right? So this is more raw, more refined, a little bit more actually steampunk feel. So as you're going down, you're seeing pipes come through and crisscross with, occasionally there'll be like a walkway between a pair of pipes, like a maintenance. No guardrails at all. Just a walk, like it's a catwalk without the fucking handrails.
Yeah.
For people to get there, repair the pipes, all that kind of fun stuff. And as you descend to this first layer, you actually see rooftops and walkways that are a labyrinth of metal, wood, stone, held together by this. We in reality would call it duct tape, but it's the equivalent of duct tape for these guys. It's got that it's magitape. We got some magitape going on. And this stuff is all held together by essentially this magitape and a prayer. That is all that is holding some of these places together. You can see and smell the grime and of the magical light and the oils and all the stuff. Because down here is where they mine. It's very known for mining this underbelly to pull out materials for Taoliva and other companies up top to actually use to create things like your Tau bike, your Arcano bike that's accompanying you down to the lower level of the Brink. As you get down there, you actually are right there at the right there near the starting line. When I said this was a wild ride, I wasn't joking. You're actually going to be taking part in a Mario Kart rules type race. So it's going to be you and 3 others. The other 3 individuals, one is a Goliath on another Tau bike, like similar to yours but different model. There is a guy in a go-kart So he's wide. And this is a. We'll go with a. Let's go with a gnome. It's a gnome and a go-kart.
Yes. That's the guy who plays Toad.
And then you've got this slender half-elf. The slender half-elven female who is on an Arcano-Tech scooter. Not like this is like a foot pedal scooter, but it's got vroom, vroom.
Oh yeah.
So she's not your biggest threat that you see right now. The two threats you clock are these first. This Goliath on a motorcycle, and this gnome who takes up way more room than he fucking should. And then there's you. As you pull up to the starting line and mount your bike, what does the crowd see as they are looking at you? What does your character look like?
Astride this, the body mostly a sort of rust-colored metal, two glowing blue headlights, wheels that emit a blue glow underneath them, and a revving engine. Just because it's a motorcycle, it still sounds like it runs on diesel. This thing is put together, heavily customized. You're not going to find this anywhere else in Taoliva. Astride that vehicle is we're going to go with 6'4", full orc individual. That his given name, Tomak Rakzen. Everybody just calls him Tommy. He is dark green skin, very prominent tusks, hair. We're going for it. He's got a mohawk, just like right straight down.
Tommy Hawk, let's go.
He's got he is wearing like, you know, basically chin to toe in leather, big beefy boots, studs or tasteful light spikes all the way down. Very biker aesthetic. The vest, the chaps, the whole 9 yards. And speaking of that vest, as he's, you know, kind of riding in, anybody who gets a shot from behind him sees the emblem that he has on his back, the background of which looks like a motorcycle wheel with, you know, spokes on it, but in the foreground, a very pin-up style depiction of the goddess of luck, Timora. The hair overly exaggerated, the normal like leather armor she's wearing, down to a leather corset that reveals far too much. The gloves, normally the like leather pants that she wears, just down to knee-high leather boots, and the normal long red cape that she has, just a nice short one flowing in the wind, I guess, as she is in a very, very overly exaggerated pose, and around the top and the bottom it says Lady Luck's Fate Papers.
Ooh, I like that. All right, so all three of these others do have an emblem on the back of their jacket. The gnome you can't see because he's actually sitting in this go-kart, but the other two you can identify. One of them is the big boys, and that is the Goliath. The Goliath is a member of the big boys.
The big boys.
They are known as bouncers and bruiser type mercenary for hire types. And then the other one you can see is the half elf, and it is Sly's Saboteur. Again, they're known for their sleight of hand, their stealth. They don't look as threatening as they should be.
Beautiful.
So she just became a little bit more of a threat, but still it's one of those like sneaky threats. Like, if you can stay ahead, she's probably done. Like, her vehicle is not fast from your understanding of her type of vehicle.
Excellent.
Okay? But as you guys are geared up, getting ready, you're starting to see crowds gathering on rooftops, on those boardwalk ledges between the roofs. Kids are dangling with their feet, cheering on everybody. And there's even some people up in that went all the way up into the maintenance pipes and are sitting on top of there hoping to get the best view they can. With all of that, you do know from your multiple times racing in this race, you haven't always won, but you've raced this track before. There will be no safety nets here. If you fall, you are going straight into the lake, 1,500 feet down.
Yep.
Good news, it gets closer as you go down, because this track is going to go down and around the bottom of Taoliva in a spiral pattern. Because the bottom of Taoliva, it looks like an upside-down mountain. So it almost looks like someone cut off the top of a mountain, flipped that bitch upside down, and built Taoliva on top. That's what it appears to be aesthetically. Yeah. But underneath it, you guys are racing this track in circles around in just a giant corkscrew. The goal, and they're announcing this to all the participants, the goal is to get from the top where you're at all the way down to Spike's Tavern at the bottom of the world. Okay? Spike's Tavern, as you would know, has a teleportation circle in it that will get you back up here, but it's a one-way type of use. Mm-hmm. You can only get from the bottom up because it's a whole lot faster than taking any other route you can. Walking back up is a pain. But as you go down, right now what you do notice is, aside from the houses, you guys are actually in like, think like a spillover way, or like a dock or construction dockyard, where so the houses are up here, you guys are down in, like the scene from Greece where they're running the race in Greece. You're kind of down in something like that, but the bridges are up so that people aren't over top of you risking being run over. They do some things for safety for this race. But that is about it. It's to keep the people safe from you, not you safe from you. Again, the only rules here are do not actively kill anybody. You can do whatever you need to slow them down or get ahead of them. However, you cannot kill. Killing disqualifies you. You might have been disqualified in the past. That's up to you. The big boys have been disqualified almost every year. Every time they race, the big boys get disqualified. So they only make it about a third of the way and they get DQ. So he just became a little less of a threat, but it's still good. There's good threat here because he could kill you, and that's threat right there. So the general track is, you're going to start here, you're going to go down around to Leeds Warehouse. That is the first check-in. Then down around, you're going to go to a scenic overlook. It's very much like a makeout point type of deal. And then the third one is going to be, the last check-in spot is a chokehold. It's a bottleneck. And then the last one is just free run. Not straight, but straight down to Spike's Tavern. So that is the general course of what you're going to be running. And and they tell you all of this just so that you know the 3 checkpoints you have to make and then the final location to get to. Missing any one of those points does risk dequalification, but does not guarantee it. Kind of like a majority rules type of deal. Best 2 out of 3. And then, because people have done some crazy shit in the past. One guy took a hang you picked a hang glider as his fucking vehicle, and just drifted all the way down one year. Skipped all 3 of those and still lost.
Poor guy.
He holds the record time, but he still lost. But let's go ahead and go. If you guys are ready, and this is the announcer talking to all the racers. If y'all are ready, we are ready to go. And he throws up a set of dancing lights. A red, a green, and a red, yellow, green, and a clear.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Are you ready?
6, 5,
As he says that,
4, 3,
Roll initiative
2,
first. Roll
1.
initiative. Did you get a nat 20?
Nope, you can't make this shit up. It's a nat 1.
That is gorgeous. Everyone else has been rolling well. I am so glad that you are not.
Wait a minute. We're gonna use a luck point.
Oh shit, you do have a luck point. That is absolutely right. You can re-roll that.
It's not a luck. It's not a nat 1 at least. It's a total of 6.
So you rolled a 4?
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So we've got the big boy only got a 6 as well, so he's going right there at the same time you are. But believe it or not, the first one off the line is actually going to be the half elf.
Okay.
Then the go-kart. So half elf, go-kart, the gnome in the go-kart, and then you probably have a higher dexterity than the other guy, so you actually will go third. Okay. So Tommy, and then the fourth one is going to be, I'm going to call it Big Boy. All right, fantabulous. The entire track is going to be a grand total of 1,200 feet. Grand total track. Because I did check your speed, and I know exactly how fast you can go in one fucking go. This has to last a good bit.
Yeah.
But each round is not exactly a 6-second round in this case. These are key things that happen along the path. So you have to account for 1,200 of the feet. That is all it is. So the half elf goes first. She looks to the left at all 3 of you. Grins. Vaporizes into total darkness. And appears 60 feet in front and then moves.
Alright.
So she's already 120 feet. Let's go. She got that misty step. That fucking shadow step. Let's go. So she goes and just gets ahead of you. Ahead of everybody. This gnome. It's like, you hear him go, fuck! And slams on that fucking gas. I'm gonna go ahead and do a percentile and see how this car reacts. Well, it does not react like you wanted. You know how in Mario Kart, if you hit your gas at the right moment, you get a boost?
Yeah.
But if you hit it too late, you stall out for that second. You hear his back wheels, and he burns out and loses a little bit of his control as it's a good thing no one else was ahead of him, because he's just swerving all over the place until he gets out to his 30 feet. No, his 50 feet that he can get to. He's only able to get 50 feet on that first move. Next up is you. Let's go, Tommy.
I do just want to specify before the race started, he dons his helmet because safety first, but instead of being like a motorcycle helmet, it is like a straight knight's full helmet. He has to drop the visor on.
Okay.
Just the slit going across and then the one coming down. Very Mandalorian-esque with the spacing on it. But as soon as this happens, his reaction time wasn't quite there, but that's not what gets him his wins. Action dash bonus action adrenaline rush, so we are going to move 3 times our speed straight forward,
which on your
speed.
bike is
He's
what?
60 feet, so that is 180 feet right off the start.
All right. So
And
as you
yeah,
go, go ahead.
He's as he's kind of swerving back and forth, time it as like he's like swerving away from me, hit full throttle before bringing us up into a wheelie, just drop speeding right past him, and having like a nice little like salute to the half elf as I pass her.
All right. She flips you off real quick as you pass.
Perfect.
Now it's Big Boy's turn. Big Boy. He goes his 60 feet. He goes his 120 feet. And then bonus action dash, he goes another 60 feet. He is right there with you, baby.
Good.
Fucking rogues, you gotta love them. How the big boy's a rogue? Don't ask.
just in case it comes up, the adrenaline rush also gives me 2 temporary HP.
All right, fantastic. So that puts you up to 13 temporarily.
Hell yeah.
All right. So you guys go down this straightaway, roughly the same order with the gnome lagging behind.
Perfect.
Go ahead and with the gnome behind, you hear words uttered behind you. As you then see a grease spot in front of you.
What a guy.
Roll a dexterity saving, boy! You're like, fuck.
That is an 18.
Fantastic. You did pass that one. Fantastic. You passed. The big boy passed. The half-elf did not. So Sly's saboteur there skids, pops, and falls. Like this, you know how scooters go when you're off them wrong. Just poof, kicks out right from under her. Just think. You see her run a little bit, grab her scooter, which flew out of her hands. She rolled terribly, and then Misty stepped back into the back end, puts it back under her, and goes and is only able to go. Let's go with 45 feet. So she only got 100. She's only at 165. So, all right. So she's at the 165. The gnome dispels it as he goes through. It was his spell in the first place. He just
drop it. Everybody's made it through. All right.
Drops that shit. Everyone's on the other side except him. He will go right the fuck ahead, and he will go his 120. So he is actually him and the half elf. Him and Sly's saboteur are neck and neck right there. Mm-hmm. They're like 5 feet difference.
Yeah.
And then next up is you, Tommy.
Alrighty. So I'm neck and neck with the Goliath individual, I believe, right? Or am I ahead?
Yeah, you guys are 10. The gnome and stuff have caught up a little bit. They are 10 feet behind you.
Alright. So we're gonna move that full 60 feet. Action on the Goliath. We're gonna take out our hand crossbow and try to shoot into his tire.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go right the fuck ahead. AC 17.
We're gonna use a luck point. Why not? Of course. Go for it.
Go for it.
Wasn't much. Well, not as bad, but it's not a 17. It's a total of 12. So.
All right.
You got to take the wins with the losses. What else do I have for bonus actions?
So you take a shot.
Yeah.
And it goes right between his wheels.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right under his foot, right under that kind of the foot pedal, and just tink.
There we go.
And he just looks at you and gives you this toothy smile.
We'll just kind of, God damn it, and just get, holster the hand crossbow again and just focus on driving. I don't think that the combat aspect is going to work for us here. At least not right now. It's not.
Not when he just gained another 60 feet ahead of you. So he's just focusing on the race.
Okay.
Right now. He's like, I was tied with first. I don't need to cheat yet. Like.
Got it.
So, boom. He is at the 300 marker. At this 300 marker, you guys are reaching Leeds Warehouse. Boom. Alright, you guys reached that first turn. I need everybody to roll a dexterity saving throw. Bad things happen if you roll a nat 1 on this.
Well, it's not a nat. This bad. We're burning the third luck one. It's a 16.
16?
Yeah.
Alright, fantastic. So, you and the half-elf both gain an additional 30 feet because you got the inside turn and you hit that thing just right as you were taking that sharp left to go right past Leeds Warehouse. Leeds Warehouse, as you're well aware, is actually home to several criminal factions and is one of those places.
Got it.
Mr. Leeds is not a very nice guy. He is professional, but you know what he runs in that warehouse, and it is not clean goods. The half-elf, it follows right behind you in that tight turn. And the other two are a little further out, with the gnome even farther out than the than Tommy. And the gnome is actually going to have to is actually going to go ahead and take a d8 of damage. He's going to take 3 points of damage as he gets shot. Technically, it's his car, but as his go-kart gets caught by a heavy crossbow bolt, they just came out of the window of Leeds Warehouse. Just thunk.
Okay.
Definitely a poor little guy. But it did not hit anything vital. It just kind of hit his back door, hit one of his doors, right? So nothing major there. But you guys both gain the additional 30 feet onto your thing for free because of that roll here. So that's 270 for you and 195 for her. And now it is back to everybody's turn. So Half-Elf is going to go ahead and stay focused and just use her regular 120 feet to just scoot right straight forward. So that is going to go ahead and make that a 315. So she does manage to pull ahead for the moment, ahead of the big boy and ahead of you. So this is one of those like back and forth, ebb and flow. This is a nice tight race. So she whizzes right past you guys. The gnome is gonna go ahead and move his. So he's up to the 290 marker. He scoots right on past you. Actually tries to block you. Roll a dexterity saving throw real quick as he tries to cut you off, so to speak.
That'll be a 15.
Fantastic. You barely beat him. Good. Meets it, right? Like, so he does that. And you know when someone's cut you off and they are now bumper to bumper with you?
Yeah.
That is where you're at with this guy. Fucking douche. But he's that just barely ahead of you type of thing. But it is now your turn.
Okay. How much space is between the gnome and the go-kart and the inside of the track?
So you were already on the inside, so I'm gonna say the people start at this point. You are no longer in that cullis. You are actually racing the streets right now.
Yeah.
But it's parade cleared, so there are people crowded on the roads, but also up top on the roofs and all that, like I described earlier. But but this gnome is like, honestly, probably a little too close. He's like maybe 5 feet away. You're 10 feet, but because of his car being so wide, he is taking up more space than he should, and he is only about that right 5 to 10 feet before he hits people.
It's legit people.
People are cussing him.
So we don't want to do that.
You want to go the other way.
Yeah, I'm not trying to kill anybody who's going to be happy when I win. Yeah, I think that we're just going to action dash and just try to get completely around him.
Okay.
Gonna just kind of like maybe whip the back end of this. I go around and try to maybe like a little sort of drifty move to get it rather than like go into the next lane and take that to try to get around him.
Okay, let's go ahead and have you roll an acrobatics check and see how well that drift gets pulled off.
That'll be a 17.
Beautiful. So you just kind of Tokyo drift right around this motherfucker.
And yeah, dash 120 feet and just get us right back up there.
Perfect. That will actually put you back in the lead at 410. You're 100 feet ahead of anybody else right now.
Oh, good shit.
Right? You've got... You just took off out of nowhere, and it's just... Oop. Yeah, you're still at the 410, but I just did my math wrong. I put you under the wrong person, that's all.
Huh.
You're at 410. Alright, cool. So you're at the 410 marker. The big boy does the same thing. But he does get it. There is a slight distraction on him, so he's got to make a wisdom saving throw to see if he pays attention or just keeps going. Nah, he's good. He got a 19 on the die. So he is, as he does that, you knew he was right there with you too. Like, he was right before you took off. He wasn't far ahead or behind you, right? So he takes off and he jumps up to the 420 marker. He is right there, 10 feet on your far right hand side. Like, he may have taken the outside, but he's fast.
Yeah.
And then next up is going to be that half elf again. That half elf is going to go ahead, is still on that far inside. So she's going to try that shadow step trick again. And get another 120 feet. Another 120 feet there. Actually, shadow step's a bonus action, so technically she's going to get 180. But that is going to put her up at 495. So she just like just disappears from behind you, pops up next to you, and then speeds off. And just goes right down that fucking track. On a scooter!
On a scooter.
She's still scootering, dude! Like, that's the craziest thing.
Oh man, that scooter must have been made by Razor.
Hey! I am down for it. She's driving a Razor scooter. One of the competition's 2 Tau-Tech. Let's go. Alright, so you watch this happen. She's now like 85 feet ahead of you.
Yeah. Alright.
This gnome hits a button as a bonus action and now has to hold on with a strength check while it just moves him. Let's see how well he does on a fucking strength check. Okay! He rolled a 7. So he is going straight down this straightaway. It's a momentary straightaway, so he thinks he can use it. He hits the button, and then a turn pops up. He can't hold the car. He could hold it straight, but as soon as anything got in his way, boom, crashes right off into the fucking building off on the left-hand side.
Right.
But you see the people disappear as one of the people in the crowd moved all of them.
Oh, God.
So they use like vortex warp and just pull these bitches out of the fucking way. These are spells being used by fairly common people.
Yeah.
So they are not anything special. Just to give you this gives you guys an idea of what is going on in the Brink as far as their power level. They're not useless. They're just poor.
Yeah.
By the way, you know you have 5,000 gold riding on this.
Oh yeah.
You win this, you've got 5k. Second place only gets 1k.
Okay.
And no one else gets nothing. There usually isn't more than 2 people who finish.
Yeah.
But the gnome is done. He failed that fucking thing. By the way, this teaches you something. Do not fail checks badly.
Oh, man.
Alright, Tommy. Let's go, baby!
I think it's at this point that Tommy would be looking for a shortcut. Nothing that's going to take him away from the checkpoint, but something that might give him a little, even that little bit of a boost, so that we can make up some ground here.
Okay. Go ahead and are you lifting your visor or are you just leaving it down?
We'll leave it down. I mean, I've done this race before, so I'm just be racking my brain. Like, what have I done in the past? What have I seen people do? What do I know?
You know a shortcut to the scenic lookout. But it's a tight fit. If Big Boy tries to follow you through it, he will not make it. But if you succeed on an acrobatics or an athletics check, you know that there is a set of pipes. So there's a set of stairs that no one ever sits on because this is a regulated path that people can take. So it is a known shortcut track. So they keep people off of those stairs. So if you can make it up the stairs and on these set of 2 pipes, so you're going to kind of be driving right down the rail between the 2.
Okay.
There is a path that will take you and go straight down, technically below the scenic overlook, but if you hop off at the right point, you can boom, boom, and done.
Perfect.
But this is only going to be 120 feet of your movement. So this is good, right? If you pass this check, you make it, no problems. If you fail this check, you get stuck halfway and you have to keep going down the path, and it takes 2 turns instead of 1. So go ahead and roll athletics or acrobatics, DC 17.
17. We're gonna rock
because you're not a small boy yourself.
Yeah, we're gonna rock it. It's gonna be a +6 instead of a +4, so. Alright. Come on now. So yeah, we're just, it's going up the staircase. I'm gonna see it kind of, see it coming up and just, that's gonna be the one, and just kind of maybe pop the back end up to angle myself for it. If I can, knowing that he's got a bigger one and that I know he probably shouldn't take this, I want to see if I can cut in front of him on my way there. Not necessarily close or anything, just so he sees I'm going over there. As to sort of goad him into it.
If you pass by enough.
Okay.
If you pass by enough, I'll let that fly.
Alright. That's easy. Come on. Good night.
Oh no. Okay, so he didn't succeed in goading. You did cut him off.
Yeah.
But what he does is he does whip a real quick spell at the back tire, knocking you off that little bit that you don't have full control over when you're entering.
Yeah.
So your speed slowed down enough that you're just, and you are now halfway through. Which means you did make it. Essentially, I'm going to say to the 500 marker, because you're taking a shortcut, right?
Yeah.
The 600 is where the next checkpoint is, but you're taking the shortcut, so you still gained 100 feet because you're now 100 feet closer, but you are not on the track.
Yeah.
So you can still make it, but they could still make it before you.
Yeah. So at the very least, I may have caught up ground rather than taking the lead, but it's, you know, he kind of hits those two by probably like front wheel handle. He gets caught between them, but he's like, gosh, dang it, and just wrenches it back out where it needs to be. And literally trying to muscle his way through this shortcut and just revving this thing in the highest gear that it has to try to.
This did not go according to plan.
Yeah, it felt that kind of hit and was just like, you son of a, and just keeps going.
But that did take his that actually used his reaction. He just whipped a real quick spell at you. It was a nothing spell, probably like a frostbolt or some shit, just to freeze your back tires.
Yeah.
And then it dispelled real quick. But so he is going to go ahead, and it is now his turn. He is going to go ahead and just go his action, his movement, and just go. Again, he's focusing more on the race this year because they haven't won in long enough. They've been disqualified more than they should have been.
Got it.
But technically, he is in the lead. He can see the second checkpoint at this point. He's at the 540 marker. Now we are going back to the beginning of the order, and we are back to that half elf. The half elf just goes forward, moves on. So that's going to be another 180. No, she's not pulling the trick. She's just pulling the 120. So that's going to bring her up to 615. So she is at this at the scenic overlook, which means she has to roll that dex save. She goes skidding, and it's a good thing they put up the little kitty barriers, because her back tire, as she's like going sideways, hits the barrier, which right sides her for a second, and she zoomed straight back down. But you can see mini airship like food trucks here, little mobile food rafts set up. Like, this is a common spot for people to watch the halfway point of the race.
Right.
Normally it's known as a lookout point, but right now, today, it is not. It is the middle of the day. It's a nice August day. The breeze through here is pretty heavy, though. You are getting down towards the bottom of this thing. The winds are whipping more than they would normally, right?
Yeah.
So it is a little bit breezy, but it's still comfortable at the moment. Which means if there's a wind going, you can only imagine what it's going to be like down at the bottom.
Yeah.
All right. So that means these DCs are going to get harder and harder as you get down. All right. So you guys keep racing. All right, Tommy, it's your turn. The half elf just kind of did this skid mark, picked right-sided herself, and is going back again.
We're on the shortcut. We got to make use of it. We're just going to action dash 120 feet, just try to get right through, finish out the shortcut, and just try to beeline it right through the overlook.
Pass an athletics check, and I will give you an additional 60 feet.
Heart of the dice. Heart of the dice. It's a 13. Better.
Okay. It wasn't hard to get through this. You've done it before, right? Mm-hmm. This is one of those shortcuts that starts off thinner, then it fans out a little bit. So you're
hard
good
to
through
get
it.
in. It's easy to get out.
Correct. So you actually skip this checkpoint. You remember that there's a shortcut within the shortcut that you can. So you are at
We're gambling that we're not going to get dinged on missing this checkpoint.
Correct.
Got to make sure we hit the rest of them.
Exactly. But this gave you an 85-foot lead on, like, you look over as you like come out of this hole, because you didn't make that jump. Yeah. When you failed that first one, you had to pop out right to get to the scenic overlook. You just kept riding the thing straight down to the next out, which was 85 or 90 feet ahead down the mountain. So you just boom, come right out. She is 90 feet behind you.
Yeah.
And then
I'll say we come out at such velocity that like making the turn to like right myself I gotta pop the back tire up on that little kitty guardrail to like spin the tire against it to push myself back on the track.
Correct. You had to purposely do the thing.
Yeah. Purposely get close and just kind of ride it back down and like looking over, just like a nice little wave and just keep going.
The crowd goes nuts for that because it's like ah, woo, and they just start cheering like it's nobody's business right now. But you do know that because you took that, you need to stay in the lead because the next thing is, and you said you cannot miss this, it is a narrow walkway. It is basically like a 2x10 that you have to drive down. So you have a little bit of wiggle room, but even normal speeding, you may need to roll a dexterity saving throw. And with the winds picking up, you feel them as you're driving down. These winds are coming at you almost like it's doing damage. Like you felt those cold New York December winds, the January cold frost. That is what's happening. Because remember, you're 2,000 feet in the sky.
Yeah.
With wind. It is cold right now. Just attacking your face. That's why you're wearing the vest. That's why you're wearing the full helmet.
Yep.
All that jazz. But you can feel it on the bits of your arm. Where it's just attack and it's like, fucking god, cold. But you know if you stay in the lead here, you've pretty much got it won. Because it's hard to come back in that last stretch.
Right.
But the big boy, you hear his engine about 200 feet back. And he tries a fucking gambit. He is going to go ahead and use his full 180, knowing he's gonna have that turn come up. Knowing he's got that thing, he's still going 60, 120, 180, just and let's see how he does. He's got disadvantage on this check for dexterity. Yeah. And again, remember, he cannot roll a 1.
Hearing that, Tommy was gonna be like, I don't think that's the best idea, and just kind of like turn into his next.
Right? That's not a good plan, bro. And just so he gave up a nat 20.
Okay.
For an 11 on the die. So he passes, but he passes it with enough that he's prone down. So he used his movement. He used his movement to get. Actually, he used his action to get 60 feet. That got him to the turn. He fell. Then uses his bike to get him back up. That's half of his movement.
Yeah. Bringing
him to only being able to go another 30 feet. So that's a 90-foot total on him. He then uses roguish. He uses a rogue bonus action that gives him another 60. So that gives him 120 plus 30, so 150. Somehow, he's still right behind you. Like, he came from nowhere. But he was already ahead of most others. So he is right there at 710.
And I'm at where?
700. No, he is 690. I'm so sorry. I did bad math. 710 is if he was,
If he made the whole thing.
If he made the turn. He'd have been at like 710 or 720. But you're at the 700 marker, you're ahead by 10 feet. This guy just came out of like nowhere. You heard him crash.
Mm-hmm.
Get back up and say, I'm coming for you, boy! Just vroom, pops a wheelie and rides a wheelie 45 feet before dropping it. As he passes the half-elf. Y'all are outpacing this chica right now. It is nuts. She's pulling dirty shit too. Like, she is not. She's trying. But it's her turn again, so she's gonna. You hear her. Her little
reaction.
Yeah. Speaking to nothing.
I'd like to shout to her as he pops a wheel and passes her. You gonna take that shit from this big asshole?
Not a chance! Pulls a dagger out of her shoulder, throws it at his back tire.
Fuck yeah. I don't need to sabotage people, I'll make other people do it.
You gave her the help action on this attack, by the way.
Alright, we'll take that.
which is good because her first roll was a 3. So she gives up a 3 to pick up a 12, hits his back tire, a little high, but hits that back tire, let's go with, it's only a little hand crossbow, so a d6, 1 point of damage, so tunk.
Hey, 1 point of damage is 1 point of damage.
He now needs to make a dexterity saving throw. That was a fucking wheel.
Yeah.
He does not make it. So he actually, as he's going up, he's on the wheelie, passes her, he lands, gets shot, and spins out again. So he's actually at the 640 marker, not the 690 marker. So he's 50 feet further back. Good move.
Yes. Hell yes.
So that was her action. Her movement is going to be to go ahead and speed right past his ass. And then, yeah, she's just going to go there and she's going to play it safe right now.
Right.
She's like, I need to stay in the race. Like, because could I try one more crazy thing? Maybe, but you can tell she thought about it for a second.
Yeah.
It is now your turn.
Right. That help was it free or did it cost my action this turn?
That was a good move. I just awarded it to you.
I appreciate that.
I wasn't gonna make you use the action to do it because you asked
Rule
about
of
speaking
cool,
and
guys.
it's free.
Rule of cool.
Rule of cool is the way to go, baby.
Yeah. Okay, so where we are, I'm gonna assume we're getting around the next checkpoint.
You've got about 200 feet.
Okay, so then we're just gonna focus this turn, action and movement 120 feet to just kind of like she's got the same idea. There's been a lot of shenaniganry at this point. We just got to make sure we keep up our thought. So just full bore right into the abyss. Let's go.
All right, full 120.
Full 120, yeah.
All right, I had to double check.
No, not yet.
No, you're good. You're at the 820 marker. You do start to see the road narrow. As the road narrows, the crowd forms higher. Airship. There's a giant-ass airship parked right off the edge here. Not to catch anyone, because it's still 50 feet back. It's a big ship. But it's creating a worse air funnel.
Going. Are we driving into it?
You're driving right into this bitch. Straight into it. But that airship's full of about 500 onlookers. That's what it's there for. It's there for their enjoyment,
Complain about the fans.
not your comfort. So, bada bang, there you go. You are good on that front. And next up is going to be him. He's going to have to use his movement, half his movement, to stand that bike back up. Get back on it. Mother fucking bitch. Vroom! He tries to hit his turbo as a bonus action. Everyone's got a turbo. Everyone in this bitch is trying to win with a fucking turbo shit.
Oh,
However, the problem is he didn't realize where he's at and how close or far he was.
Yeah.
His turbo is an overboosted turbo. So it's not the normal gnomish turbo that you just saw, the 60-foot extra.
Yeah.
This doubles the amount of space, the amount of distance he goes. So if he goes 90 feet, it doubles his 90 feet.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Baby!
Oh,
This is a danger turbo. So, he is going to try for a straight 180 feet. That is going to get him to... Doing math.
Really?
Actually, he does have to have a control on his bike, right?
Yeah.
So he is going to roll a dexterity saving throw. His dex saving throw is going to be a DC 12 because the wind and the fact he's on a two-wheeled vehicle.
Yeah.
it's harder to control a two-wheel vehicle when you throw in a boost.
Yep.
Like,
Fishtail himself right off the edge.
now he's only going to be at the 820. He would be right next to you if he succeeds with this. Oh my god. He rolled a 9.
What happens, Aaron?
Oh, this guy pops a wheelie from that boost. But it's that wheelie that goes 35, 45, 55 degrees, 60 degrees. He maintains that control. But when he tries to drop it, he's too heavy in the back. He flips the bike. The bike goes 80 feet in the fucking air.
Oh shit.
It comes right the fuck back down.
As I hear that pops into the air, like you can kind of look back over and just kind of sort of shout, "Oh, watch it, everybody!"
It lands right back on top of him for 10 points of damage, and he is beneath this 120-pound vehicle, this 120, 300-pound vehicle. Just, if he wasn't a Goliath, he would be. He's that type of. It's that type of pain, right? If he wasn't a big boy, he would be fucked.
Oh man.
Like you would survive that type of thing too, but that's about it.
Yeah. Goodness
you
gracious.
hear it because this happens about 50 feet behind you. You just hear and then you hear the noise of the engine go up higher, and you're like, wait a minute.
What's he doing up there? Oh.
You see the bike upside down. He's flat on the ground and just boom, pancaked.
Hey, wise man once said, "Embrace the suck," and we ran for the other one.
The bike also took an additional 20 points of damage too, so that bike is hurt. It took the fall damage. It went up 80 feet. He's lucky it's not destroyed.
Yeah, he's lucky he's not dead.
Him too, right? He fell first. The bike came on top of him, and it was.
Still,
it could have been very, very bad.
Oh shit!
Yeah. All right, so he is out of the race. The medics are starting to show up to his location.
Yeah.
He took a gamble. It did not work.
Happens the brakes.
Now all you have to do is stay ahead of this half elf.
Mm-hmm.
Who's been tricky as a...
Normally 2 people make it.
Who's been tricky this entire time for you. But you've got over 100 feet on her right this second.
Yeah.
But she now knows it's you and her. Because she watched from the back as this whole thing happens and swerves around.
Oh, did
as
it go over her?
No. He got ahead of her already. And then picked his bike up, went ahead, and then tried to stay ahead of her. So she watched this whole thing happen, going slower than she wanted to because she was like, that's no bueno.
Yeah.
But as soon as that crash happens, yeah, right? Let me not take myself out of this race too.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as this fucking happens, you see her, like, you hear her, like, her skid, like, out and around as she Tokyo drifts around this bitch.
Yeah.
She goes her 100, she goes not her 120, she goes 60 feet.
I take it
then,
so too.
Then she uses her action and fucking dimension doors. She just drives straight through a fucking dimension door.
Oh man.
And comes out on the way other side. So she was already started at 675. Mm-hmm. She added 60 feet. So that brought her up to 745. Problem is, she's way ahead. She jumps ahead 500 500 of the normal units. Yeah. So she is gonna jump ahead to inside Spike's Tavern. She jumps ahead, like does that scooter stop where it's puts her foot down and just turns off her engine and grabs a pint.
Damn.
She's been training, bro. But here's the fun part. She skipped a spot.
She did. She did.
Technically,
She skipped a lot.
she skipped 2.
Yep.
She didn't even make it to the second marker. You skipped 1.
Yeah.
Or no, she made it to the second marker. She did not make it to the third one. So you had to make this one. She was able to skip it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna matter. It's gonna determine as to what they think when they check this thing out. Because remember, she didn't ride out to cross the finish line. She popped into the bar.
Yeah. So,
Is that against the rules, or is that a rabbit in the tortoise in the hair? Tortoise in the hair kind of deal.
right.
So you'll find that out when you keep going. So you're just gonna keep going straight. As you cross through this spillway, though, I do need you to make a dex saving throw. We're not going to worry about your speed or anything like that. We're just kind of narrating it. Because you already know you're the only one on the track. The crowd knows you're the only one on the track.
I wouldn't actually, because she was behind me and then she's gone. I could just.
Oh,
I could
true.
assume she's ahead of me. I can't assume that she's finished.
True.
So I am
But
still.
you know she's not
trying.
behind you.
Yeah.
You know she's not behind you because you looked. She's not behind you. She's not clearly line of sight ahead of
I
you.
can't see her in front of me, so she must be.
You also
far
didn't
ahead.
see her pass you.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the fuck's going on.
So it's just. Well, let's just go. So yeah, we are still gunning it through this, but without like a
DC
actual
14.
adversary.
DC
Yeah,
14
he's just
dexterity savings throw.
DC 14 dexterity saving throw.
Paladins seem to be bikers. What'd you get?
There it is.
Is that nat 1? Oh no. Oh no. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Oh, luck points. I'm out of everything.
This was that
except
spillway too. This was that don't. Oh.
Don't fuck up here.
Mm-hmm. So you fall. You just fall straight.
What's below me? Is it lake?
As you're falling, you see nothing but lake. You do see a small little like peak, because this was actually a crater, an impact point crater. So when they hit, they do form a little bit of a central column.
Mm-hmm.
If they hit in the correct direction, which this one did. You see that slight central spire thing there, but you see Spike's Tavern pop past you. Do you have anything to save you?
I got a whip. Literally, I got.
Okay. So
I got
before you get to
lay on
Spike's
hands.
Tavern, before you get past Spike's Tavern or any of that shit, your bike is falling. The bike is not between your knees. You would have to get to your bike through like that anime air swimming bullshit. But you can save yourself because you know that there's a pipe about 120 feet below this spillover that runs down, basically kind of under the road, but like far enough out that it's not under the road anymore when you're down that low. But you can try and whip onto this and save you, but not your bike.
Well, ride another day, I guess. So I'm gonna guess this is like an attack roll.
Yes. Attack roll against the city.
City has an AC of like 4, right? It was a 24.
Was that a nat 20 or a 19?
There was an 18 plus 6.
18. Okay, still. There's the roll you needed to run that fucking...
There's the roll.
But you did save yourself. You whip onto that. You swing down. And as you swing down, you actually land right outside, right off the finish line. Tuck, roll, so no damage dealt, because you're doing that tuck and roll. Tuck, roll, and you make it across the finish line, and just lay flat on your back.
Just
Breathing.
that moment, laying there, the sort of echoing, like metallic echo through the helmet, and just like a moment afterward, just flip the visor up, and just kind of look up and go, "Son of a bitch," and just try to get up. Like, yeah, you said no damage, but that doesn't stop him.
That doesn't stop it from, yeah, right? Like, it doesn't mean it didn't hurt. It just that means that no HP was dealt.
Yeah.
The announcer, who was at the beginning, is now at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Walks over, helps you up, raises your hand, and says, "And it looks like we have a winner!
It's kind of a
Tommy
shock, 'cause
Roxen won the 2021? Yeah, 2021. That's the year. The 2021 Tour de Brink. And he drops your
honestly
hand.
shocked because he was worried that because he doesn't have his bike that he was going to be DQ'd.
At that moment, the scooter chick walks out of the tavern. He's like, "Hey, I beat him." The announcer turns around and says, "Doesn't count. You were in the bar."
He's gonna shrug, and I know that I said them's the brakes earlier, but canonically he's gonna look at her like taking the helmet off, running the fingers through the nose. You know, them's the brinks, or them's the
Right?
brink.
All right, so they hand you a big fat sack of 5,000 gold, which is a good thing because it's going to cost you another 3,000 plus to buy yourself a new bike.
Yeah.
And probably
man.
another 2,000 to find a mechanic worth the shit to work on it, because your current one will probably not like that you lost the bike.
Gonna be very upset. But,
So,
celebration, I guess. We're already at a tavern, so
right?
hell yeah. Drinks
right,
all
go-
around, get ourselves an ale, beer, whatever it is
You're
they're serving.
you're seriously buying a drink for everyone in the bar.
Probably. I mean, after 5,000 gold, I could probably afford one round.
Yep, you dropped 500 gold off.
All right, that'll work.
500 gold. This tavern at the end of the world has a very much like Key West Margaritaville style vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's friend. It's all,
Yeah.
hey, and they're all celebrating because another successful run. As you're sitting there drinking probably your third or fourth pint, someone taps you on the shoulder.
Okay, just gonna turn around. All right, how can I help you, sir?
And behind you,
man.
you see you can't see gender, you can't see anything because it's just a black cloak with an empty face. There is no face there that you can see or identify as an actual face. It only looks black, like shadow.
I look up.
It's useless to try.
I know it is, but
No, this is him saying it,
Oh.
right? This person is saying, it's useless to try and find me.
try what?
However, I do have connections to get you a new bike.
All right, I'm listening.
In fact, I'm getting your old one right now. Snaps his fingers, your bike appears.
Well, slap my ass and call me daddy. What the hell is going on here?
You just got yourself a free ride back to the surface. Touches you who's I'm assuming already touching your bike at this point.
Yeah, probably like, is this really my bike? Like,
It is.
Is this an illusion? Is this just a really good copy? Oh, I definitely got those
It's your
scratches
bike.
on it.
He pops you back to the surface and says, "Now, ride home. Ride back to your little mechanic. He's got some water to get out of that."
All right.
He pulls his hood down, and as he pulls it down, he does that like, you know how Harry Potter apparate looks like it's
Just kind of like inverts on himself.
Yeah, you just see him pull the hood down over top of the nothing face, and just disappears and goes somewhere.
Ride home.
But this bike is not rideable because it's waterlogged.
Yeah.
And took a shit ton of fall damage on the way down.
Yeah, it's probably a little fucked up. So he's gonna be like looking around, just like, ride home. Where the fuck is? Oh, all right. And
you're literally 200 feet outside your mechanic.
Yeah. So just starts walking that way.
All right. Roll a perception check for me. Because you're back on the surface, but you've been used to riding in the brink real quick.
Yeah.
Where there was nobody on, and you're drunk, so you have disadvantage on this thing too.
That's why I was asking.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah. +0 with disadvantage. Let's go. All right. 19 or 11. 11 is the number.
All right. 11. As this happens, a go-kart driven by a gnome, a halfling, with a pair of with a dwarf in the back, come up and out of nowhere just boom, hit you and your bike. You go flying over the top. Probably still holding your bike, yes.
Yeah, well, I just pictured the slow-mo and then like some 80s love ballad starts playing in the background. Like
right?
Whisper or something.
Right? It's one of those. Careless Whisper because you're drunk.
Yeah, there you go.
So, you're going to take, I'm going to say 2d10s worth of damage.
I'd say that's unfortunately fair.
That's a 3 and a 7. That is 10 plus 1 per die, so that's 2. So that's 12 damage.
Okay, 12. I have exactly
1
HP.
Uh-huh. You are flat on the fucking back. Your bike, you brought your bike with you because that whole slow-mo thing. The bike lands on top of you. You pass out for that split second. Next thing you know, this tiefling with a tri-hawk. So it's the one mohawk down the middle, but 2 down the side, ponytailed back into a braid. Comes out, looks down at you. You open your eyes. You see your mechanic.
Ah, shit.
What'd you do with my bike?
Let's just say we were in the brink and then it needed a drink. Oh, fuck. You gonna stand there, Bruce, or you gonna fucking help me up?
He pulls the bike up.
Yeah, help the bike. That's alright. Get me.
And he walks the bike right into the mechanic shop.
I'm gonna say, yeah, like after going with the bike, just like stumbling to the feet and just kind of like looks over and he's missing a tusk.
I mean, missing a whole tusk, so you're one tusked.
Yeah, just like blood coming from the mouth, and he's just like, God damn it!
You do see your tusk.
Cereal box.
You do see your tusk. It's on the ground, so you could pick it up if you chose to. Okay,
we're gonna pick it up. You
have your tusk. Love it. And you just limp into the mechanic.
Literally limp. It was like motherfucking Bruce the entire way. Just be like, don't worry, get the bike in there. Could have helped you with the bike. You would have just brought my ass in there.
You go to take that first step, and your leg buckles under your own weight. Bruce comes out, picks you up and carries you in and says, "You know you got a broken leg, too." Sets you down in a chair, and that is where we're going to end this session, with this mechanic just emptying water out of your bike because he's got it strung up like a pig already. And it's just dripping lake water. Just there's a puddle already forming around the bottom.
Just laying there, broken leg, bleeding,
broken
from the
leg,
mouth,
missing
all
a
kinds
tooth.
of other shit. Just like laying there and like, oh,
Mhm.
you know, you got a broken leg, and then he's going through this, and then the camera just kind of, you know, like pans on him, just shakes his head, just fuck. See.
End scene. But that is where we're gonna end for the day.